Hi, I'm Lauren Collins and I am a pelvic health physical therapist. Welcome back. So today we are going to talk about vulvar and vaginal health and hygiene, how to keep things just happy and healthy, especially for those women who have issues around vulvar irritation. A lot of these techniques and these tips will be specifically helpful for them. Some of these things your mothers may have shared with you in the past, and if they haven't, then here we go. It'll be a good some good tips for you and a good review for those women who maybe already know these things. Okay, so please forgive me because I have a list that I have down here because I want to make sure that I get all the topics that I want to talk about. So excuse me if I look down every once in a while just to remember what it is I wanted to talk about. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is how to wipe. So here is my handy model. This is the front. This is the back. Okay, so if we're turning it up, again, here is the clitoris, there's the urethral opening, and here's the vagina, and then here's the anus, okay? So when you're wiping after using the bathroom, I'm going to turn the pelvic model. This is as if a woman is facing this way, okay? You're going to wipe front to back. So front to back after you use the bathroom. And the reason why we want to go front to back is because at the back is our anus, and sometimes our anus can have bacteria left from stool, and if we go back to front, we're going to bring that stool into our vagina, which is not very it's not very healthy for our vaginas often because we can get infections, and so we always want to go front to back. Okay, that's rule number one. The second thing I want to talk about is just basic cleaning of the vagina. People often think or the vulva, I should say, not the vagina, the vulva. People often think they have to scrub, and no scrubbing is necessary on the vulva. The vulva is very sensitive tissue. It's too much friction. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to bring out another one of my models that you all have seen before. This is a vulva, okay? So here's the clitoris, here's the hood of the clitoris. These represent the labia minora, or the inner lips of the vaginal opening, and these represent the labia majorum, which are the outer lips of the vaginal opening, and so in here would be the vagina and the urethra, right? So really, if you are bathing, the only place you really might want to kind of get in between is to get in between the labia minora and the labia majora. You might kind of want to take a towel and gently kind of get in here, because sometimes things like discharge can kind of get in there, or some dead skin can kind of build up in there. So you may want to gently just kind of come in there and wipe gently along both sides to get that out. And then just rinse with water, okay? We don't have to use soap around our vaginal opening because that can be irritating, especially with people who have vulvar irritation issues already, okay? So just keep that in mind. Be very gentle with the skin here, with these tissues here. Okay, the next thing is to avoid the use of products that have fragrance and have dyes, meaning colors, because those things, especially for people who already have irritation, can be even more irritating. So try and use unscented things, and try and stay away from underwear that might be lined with colors. In the underwear, you want to try and do that as well. You also want to try and make sure that you use cotton linings in your underwear, something that can breathe. Cotton underwear and cotton linings, preferably an unbleached cotton lining, and if you can't find an unbleached one, then a white one without the colors or the dyes. Okay. All right, next tip is to avoid tight clothing and pants, specifically for those people who have irritation around their vulvar region. I know skinny jeans are the thing. I like them myself, but for people who have irritation around their vulva, that can be very painful, and the friction could just be very uncomfortable. So for those people, I'm going to say, try and avoid the very tight pants and jeans, and at nighttime, sleep with no underwear on. Just kind of let everything just have as much comfort as possible. All right, next tip is that when you are drying after bathing is to pat dry the vulva. You don't have to scrub. Again, this goes back to the no scrubbing, no friction thing going on here. Okay, next tip is that if you do have irritation, you can use calendula cream. That can help with some of the irritation. Also, aloe vera gel just around the vulvar area here can help with any irritation. So both of those things can be helpful. Also, coconut oil, you can use that as a kind of soothing oil as well. You might want to test it, or test anything actually, on the inside of your wrist first, to make sure you don't have an allergic reaction to it. Okay, next thing are sitz baths. And what a sitz bath is when you just fill your tub up with about 3 or 4 inches of warm water. Again, test your wrist in it. You don't want anything too hot, especially sitting your perineum. And again, your perineum is this whole area here, into the water. So 3 or 4 inches, so it just covers your perineum and your glutes, your butt cheeks. And just, you can sit for like about 15 minutes and let that help soothe any irritation that you have. Next one is to avoid douching. This is a big one. We have been taught to douche to keep our vaginas clean. Ladies, our vaginas are clean and they are self-cleaning. Know and trust that. If anybody tells you you need to douche, they're lying. And I say that because what douches do are they go in, we have good bacteria that are in our vagina that help keep it healthy. And so when you go and you douche, you are rinsing out that good bacteria, which then can make room for these bad bacteria to kind of build up and become overpopulated, and that's when we get infections, and that's when other issues start to happen. So no need to douche, okay? Don't do that. Also, another tip is, if you are a person who has irritation, staying away from chlorinated water like pools, because that can be drying and irritating for the vulva region as well. Oh, and here's another one. After intercourse, if you are irritated, you can first make sure you get up and you go to the bathroom and you urinate, you pee. You want to empty your bladder. Sometimes irritation can happen just from the impact of the penis against the bladder, and so that can get the bladder a little irritated. So go ahead and pee after that to help relieve that. And then if you have a squeegee bottle, fill it up with some cool water or some lukewarm water, and you can rinse yourself down with the squeegee bottle afterwards to help soothe any irritation there. Okay, and then I think that might be all. Oh, lubricants. Here we go. With intercourse, if you're using a lubricant, try and use one that doesn't have in it something called propylene glycol. And I'll write that down at the bottom so you can know the name of it again. Propylene glycol. It could be an irritant for a lot of people who have vulvar irritation and pain. KY jelly has it in there. So if you're a person who has irritation, avoid propylene glycol. Instead, you can use something like what I use here at my practice. Can you see the name? It's called Slippery Stuff. It doesn't have that in it. It's a water-based lubricant. It works really well. You can order it on Amazon or just Google Slippery Stuff and you can find where to order it. Also, there's an organic one called Yes, and Yes makes an oil-based one. These are just sample packets, but Yes makes an oil-based one and a water-based one. If you're going to use a condom, make sure you use the water-based one. Which one of these is water? The water-based one, because oil can break down condoms. Also, for lubricants, you can use oils like coconut oil or olive oil. Just always make sure you test it on the inside of your wrist first to make sure there's no allergic reaction to it. So I think that's it for my tips for the day. Pubic hair is a huge thing to talk about, and I'll probably address that. Well, I'm going to address that in another blog because I don't kind of want to overwhelm you with everything at once. So we're going to get back to that on another blog. But for right now, I really hope that this helped you out. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.